I'm Suraj.
How you going? I'm Andrew from Trevor Homes.
Hi, we are from Deakin University doing construction management.
Yep.
We are here for site visit. So can you please tell me something about we would like to know about this site.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this site's for a client. It's just for one particular person. It was a knockdown rebuild, so there was an existing house here. We had to get a demo permit for that. We had to get a town planning permit for the construction, and here we are. We're about 30% of the way through the construction.
What type of development it is? It was a burial land or like?
No, there was an existing house on here.
Okay.
It was occupied.
Okay.
The owner decided that wasn't what he wanted to do with the land, so he got a consent to demolish the house and build new.
Is it for single client or for multiple clients?
It's for one client, but it's for a business, but it's for one particular client.
Okay. So how do you manage the quality in the site? So what type of software or what type of register you use for quality management?
Yeah, sure. So we use our own internal quality management system, and also we work with the building surveyor. So in terms of the mandatory inspections, the building surveyor is involved with that, but that's the minimum standards. We make sure that our supervisors constantly on site, checking work, checking every single stage before we go to the next one.
Is there any services installed for workers in the site?
Yeah, always. We always have water, and we have portable toilets as well. You've got to have power to build, so we have to get those in as early as possible, otherwise we can't do construction.
What are the preliminaries, procedure and duration for at the initial stage of this particular structure?
Sure. On a site like this, it takes a bit of time to get the consent for the demo permit.
Okay.
But before that, you've got to get a town planning permit as well. So on a site like this, for 4 units, it could take anywhere between 4 to 7 months to get the town planning permit, another month to get the demo consent and building permit application as well.
So what about the soil excavation, where it got disposed and how you work on that?
Yeah, sure. So most of this was cleared by the demolition contractors, so it was pretty sort of clean soil. So we took it to the fines for tip.
So what's the distance for the disposal from the site?
Yeah, every job's different. Depending on where we're building, it will be it's site specific. So if we're building in Point Cook, we try and find a site down there. If we're building in Geelong, we'll find a site around Geelong.
Oh, okay.
So from here to Finesford, it's only 10k round trip. It's not very far.
So it's just the area-wise you have decided.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And what about the structure? How many rooms are there, and
Yeah,
structure?
these are all 3 bedroom.
3 bedrooms.
Yeah. 3 bedroom, 1 suite, 2nd bathroom, and kitchen, meals, living area.
Oh, okay. Tell me something about the initial construction phase of this house.
Yeah.
So what you do at the initial stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clean the site, so scrape the site. Then we get our services in. So with this particular job, we had to do a sewer main extension. So we're liaising with Bar and Water to get the right consents to do that and do the work, and then get the water in, storm water, and then we did all the foundation works after that. So we get all the services first, basically, unless you got board piers.
Do you maintain inspection test plans for this particular house?
Definitely, yeah. So with all the Bar and Water registered work, it's all documented, all has to be submitted to Bar and Water.
Okay.
All the as constructed sewer plans, all documented, submitted to Bar and Water, where all the services are.
It's for the quality, to maintain the quality,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, the basic services for the workers working here.
Yes.
It's like toilets or something basic.
Yep.
There in
Water,
store?
power, sewer, or toilet, temporary
Okay.
toilet.
Andrew, so I just want to ask about the construction phase.
Yes.
So I want to ask about the foundation. Shall we start from foundation? How is the process is done?
Yeah, so first thing we do is a site scrape. So we clear off 100 mils of soil, any vegetation,
Okay.
get it down to sort of a natural soil. And then depending on the design, this one we had some board piers. So we get the board piers in, get them inspected by the building surveyor,
Okay.
pour them full of concrete. Then we go on to the next phase and get the sewers done in between. So you've got to get the sewers before obviously the slab, but they have to go in after you do the board piers.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise you could put the sewer where the board pier is going to go. So you put the sewers in after the board piers are poured, and then we do the slab foundation. So mandatory inspections.
Okay. And so I assume it's done for simultaneously for all the 4 sites, or
This particular one we did two and two.
Oh, okay.
Because we had a couple of units that were connected, so we poured that all as a simultaneous pour, and then the individual ones we poured them separately as well. So
Okay.
that was the way that we could allocate the labour properly to make it work.
so it will be up till here, I guess, the plinth level, I guess, or
Yeah, so this is, we're dictated a finished floor level from the engineer. So depending on the soil conditions, whether it's a flood area, whether there's any special conditions from the council, we'll dictate the floor level that's appropriate for the site.
okay. And about the walls, I could see brick walls and timber walls. Like, could you please tell me about why over there brick and why here timber? Like
Yeah,
some
sure.
ideas.
So a lot of construction in Australia for residential build is timber frame. So the timber frame is what holds the actual structure up.
Right.
The brick is just a facade on the outside, so it's non-load bearing. It's just to it's a facade, so it stops weather from coming in from inside to outside. So the reason why Australia uses this so often is probably availability and price.
Right.
You see, some builders build with steel, and that's sort of similar. That's the structural element, but still the external brickwork is just a facade.
Oh, okay. And what about this one that we are seeing?
Yeah, so
What
that's
is
insulation paper. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a waterproof barrier. So if any water does penetrate through the brickwork on the facade, there's a 40 mil gap between the back of the brickwork and this paper. So any water that comes in will run down on the outside of this,
Okay.
and then come down to this flashing down here, and then go out the weep hole of the brickwork.
Oh, that's great. And what about this one, Andrew? What is this?
So this is a service. This
Okay.
is just some ductwork for heating and cooling. So that's not finished yet. It's just put in so we could frame out for any return air locations upstairs. 'Cause one of the major things with double stories is trying to service them adequately, and you can design it right to make sure that you don't have return air locations in the middle of bedrooms and things like that.
So when we after reaching a finishing phase, like the last phase of construction,
Yes.
so what sort of parallel activities can happen in a construction site like this?
Right, so with this, you can have, because it's so many dwellings at once, you can have guys working on painting in one, tiling in another, waterproofing in another. You can make it follow around. So you can have multiple trades on the site at once. Ideally, you'd have one trade specifically working in each unit at a time, not multiple trades on each other at a time, because A, it's not big enough. Yeah. No worries. Just have to edit that out.
That's fine.
Where was I? Yeah, working concurrently at the same time. So, ideally, you could have a couple working at the same time. You can do fit-offs at the same time, electrical, plumbing, heating and cooling, they can all do at the same time. But you couldn't have painters, tilers, waterproofers in at the same time because it just wouldn't work.
Okay. And Andrew, could you come a little bit outside?
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you about the roofing part.
Yes?
So, could you tell about the roofing? Because
So these are engineered trusses. So they go to a truss company, and then the specific loading on the roof above, whether it's concrete roof tile, terracotta roof tile, or colorbond, will be designed to suit the span, the weight, the uplift.
So, Andrew, about the roof part, could you please explain how did you construct the roof section?
Sure. So these are prefabricated roof trusses.
Right.
They're made in a plant off-site, and then they delivered to site as they are. And the carpenter gets a layout from the truss manufacturer, and with specific locations of where they all go. They're all individually labelled. They're all individually weighted depending on the load coming from above, whether it's concrete roof tile, terracotta or colorbond. They're all different weights, and they've all got the individual fixing methods, as you can see with the brackets here.
Right. And are these trusses directly placed over here, or they are fitted?
So
All the A-frames, they are placed directly here, or from crane or any?
No. These are light. These are light, so you can manually lift them by hand.
Okay.
And up the top, what will happen is when they get delivered, they'll be delivered by crane on the roof, and then the carpenter will just move them around, so they won't pass them up. They'll be delivered on the top.
And I assume this one is for the construction for top.
Yeah. So this is temporary. This is a void protection platform with an access ladder. So that's purely during construction. So it's protected for workers to work up the top, so they can't fall down the void for the stair.
For
And then-
safety concerns.
Yeah. So generally, what will happen is it'll get plastered, and then the actual staircase will go in. And we'll have the safe access to get up the top.
So hi Andrew, regarding the documents, so what are the preliminary documents? So when who are the approving authority to start the construction? Yeah. So what are the permits and approvals that are needed to start the construction?
All right. So for this particular job, we have a town planning permit,
Okay.
a demolition permit,
Okay.
and a building permit,
Okay.
and a contract as
So
well.
once all these are done, and then you can start the construction.
Yeah, so you issue a letter of notice of intent to begin construction,
Yeah.
and then start construction.
Okay. And what about the inspections? So how many inspections does it happen? The clients and all?
Yeah,
While
so this particular one, you've
Yeah.
got board piers, pre-slab, slab steel,
Yeah.
frame,
Yeah.
and final.
Okay. And what about the building completion certificate? So when is that issued, and what's the process of it?
Which one, sir?
So what the building completion certificate?
Oh, so occupancy permit.
Occupancy. Yeah. Sorry. Occupancy certificate.
Yeah, so that happens at the end of the project when it's all practically complete.
Yeah. So is there any procedure for that? So
Yeah.
you just
So during the construction phase,
Yeah.
Each registered trade
Yeah.
will be supplying a certificate of compliance for their work.
okay.
Plumbers, electricians,
Okay.
so there's various types of plumbers that provide. We've got about 5 different plumbing certificates, 2 electrical certificates,
Yeah.
and then the rest are sort of compliance certificates from the window manufacturers
Okay.
and installation installers and things like
Okay.
waterproofing.
And after this, the simultaneously the quality checks are also be done, right?
Yeah, correct. So
The
we
qual-
do our internal QA, and
Yeah.
then building surveyor will come and have a look at it
Yeah.
too.
And the next one is the neighbors. So how do you manage the neighbors from the noise and disturbance created from the site, construction?
Communication.
Yeah.
It's the biggest key. So first thing we do is go and introduce ourselves to the neighbours.
Yeah.
Make ourselves known.
Yeah.
If there's any queries, concerns,
Yeah.
they've got our phone number. They can talk to us. Last thing you want is a neighbour that is disgruntled from the beginning. So if you go there, explain the process,
Yeah.
let them know what's going to happen, when it's
Yeah.
going to happen, and how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Generally, people are pretty understanding.
So it's probably you have a time period for doing the construction which causes noise?
Yes,
Or-
yeah, correct. We
Yeah.
have by the EPA guidelines. So
Okay.
7 a.m. on a weekday, 9 a.m. on a weekend,
Yeah.
and up to different councils have different.
So is there any main point of contact to reach to travel homes and the neighbors, or else you're the guys who just go and talk to them?
Yeah, so generally the supervisor
Okay,
will
okay.
go and talk to them, but we also have the admin staff at the
Yeah.
beginning of the project that will send letters out, especially if we've got fencing notices that we have to do for building on boundary.
Yeah.
Certain types of projects we have to get consent from the neighbours to build actually on the boundary line, explain
Yeah.
to them how we're going to protect their property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the construction waste? So how do you manage the construction waste?
Yeah, so we recycle what we can,
Okay.
and then the rest goes to the.
So there's a bin outside the site,
Yes.
which that goes.
That's general building waste.
Yeah.
But then any brick, any masonry waste, anything like that,
Yeah.
will be sent to a recycling plant. Generally, Alex Fraser's in Laverton or
Okay.
something similar, and any timber we try and utilise where we can.
Okay. So there are other subcontractors kind of thing who take the material and then recycle it.
We employ like a eco waste or that sort of that specialise in that.
Okay. And I was just wondering, what was this material for?
So this is the flashing. So it's for transferring from lightweight cladding at the top to the brickwork at the bottom. So the good example of that here is lightweight cladding will come down over the top of this.
Okay.
The brick is wider.
Oh yeah.
So this will cap over the top of the brickwork.
Okay.
And then protect any water from going in down behind the brickwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a transfer.
So this material is particularly for cladding.
Yeah, generally all types of flashing roofing work. So a roof plumber will install these.
Yeah. So thank you, Andrew. Thanks for your time. Thanks for making the site visit.
All good.
Yeah.
No worries. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.